Hello, you curious onlookers. I'm making this one because last night's recording made me sound like I was having another stroke. All my S sounds were all strange, and um, the word chessboard came out all funny, and I think the audio is going on this laptop. So I thought I would experiment by eating while I'm talking to see if eating is, affects my speech at all. And whether or not this particular video shows any evidence that the laptop has righted itself in the audio department. Ow. These are jalapeno poppers, the gluten-free kind. I think they're made by Feel Good Foods. I'm not sure. Since I can't shop at the old haunt, I have to go up the hill to Wegs. And these are my faves. They're so good. They're every bit as good as straight poppers. They're gluten-free and they're really good. Okay. So, earlier I went to the Phil concert to hear the Verdi Requiem with my friend who retired from 45 years as principal flute. And I loved it. Mostly because I've played that probably 3 or 4 times. And the dies irae for cellos and basses is so fast. And my hand is so little. And I play so much piano that when you ask me to do massively fast passage work at the top of the volume, fortissimo, I don't leave the strings depressed long enough with my fingers to make enough sound. Because when you play really fast on the piano, your fingers have to be very light. The skills contraindicate. It's kind of like cognitive dissonance of the digits. What are you going to do? God gave me less than 2 inches right here and Dad's thumb. Dad's thumb is the only thing that saves me as a pianist because it allows me to reach beyond an octave. If my thumb matched the size of the rest of my hand, I wouldn't be able to do anything. And I do not have the bulk muscle. So when I play cello, I have to move my body to create momentum. But you don't care about any of this. You want to hear about the Phil concert, right? So it was fabulous. Clean, There are some really strong players on that stage, and the soloists were lovely, although my personal favorite bass baritone is Marcus Doss, because he goes into character. He really creates personality when he sings that part. My favorite on stage was the mezzo-soprano. She had such a piercing voice for a woman whose body wasn't enormous, whose chest cavity was not enormous. She penetrated that whole hall. She was really something, and we were sitting fairly far over on the side and under the eaves. It was great. I was so proud of I call them my brass boys. Jay, one of the trumpet players whose embouchure I set, and he told me that one of the last times I talked to him. He said, I've never changed it. I've kept that embouchure. So that's one thing I did for one of my 4,000 students that has borne fruit. Professional fruit. And then Riley, who I played piano for, I call him one of my charges because I accompanied him in concerto competition. Back in the day, I did that all the time. Every January, I played for 5, 6 kids. In both the youth orchestras, I did it. I did a lot of that. And these kids are my charges, and I get to go and hear them play in professional orchestras now. Rosie the China doll, Shelby Rose, in the first soprano section of the chorus. I could see her, I could watch her, I could practically hear her. She didn't stick out, but she blended. She was crisp and expressive, and just, I was so proud of that girl. And she told me she loved me when we saw each other backstage. Again, 2 kids out of 4,000. 2 is better than none. I don't know who else. Thomas Brooks has been the conductor of the Erie Philharmonic Chorus for many years. I meet him backstage for the first time formally. We shake hands, and when I tell him my name, he goes, "I know you. I went to college with your brother, Nate. We both went to Houghton College. He was a classmate of my brother's in college." Nobody ever told me this in all these years. I have to tell my brother. Anyway, and what else? Brad. My friend and I had to, both of us, find him backstage, and he showed us how Brad is the man. He's the one who pounded the hail out of that bass drum during the DSE rave. If you were at that concert, you know what I'm talking about. Bang, 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 bang. He showed me the head of the bass drum. All of that assault peeled the coating off of the drum head, made it completely transparent so you could see inside the drum. He says the way to fix that is to take a paint gun and aim it at the spot, and it sort of helps normalize and blend and melt the coating back into positions and back into place so that it renders the head opaque again. I put my finger on that spot where he hit that thing, and it popped back and forth with me. It popped in and out. He came that close to just breaking that head. But they say you're supposed to tighten it up. He told us this. You're supposed to tighten the bass drum head as tight as it'll go, and then stuff the drum with, absorbent material. And that's how you get the sound that Verdi wanted in the Dies Irae. Oh, you also flip the bass drum so it's like a table. Instead of being up like this, it's tipped over horizontally so you can thwack it. So proud of that man. I said, you could break brick with that mallet. You could break brick. It came from the core of his core, that power. Don't go near that man. He's big. And afterwards, the punchline, as my friend was walking across stage, she wanted to talk to the other flute players and stuff. And I finally ventured out. I hadn't actually been on the stage after a concert, except for the Mannheim tour, which is the only thing I've ever played on the new renovated stage. So I walk across to talk to Brad, and we're there for a while in the left wings. And then that's where we saw Thomas, and that's where we saw Shelby, who came out with roses. But I've come across, and the stage crew guys were breaking upset. And the little guy, I forget his name, he called to Kenny. Kenny's the guy who's been ahead of the Warner crew for, 40 years? He's laughing. He points at me. He says, "Look who's here." And what does Kenny do? This is the punchline, kids who are watching my videos, because you miss me. You don't love me, but you miss me. And you know it. And you think this is gonna be enough. This is what Kenny did. He takes one look at me and he goes, "Call security!" And I had to go up to him and say, "You don't know how funny that is. Call security!" Funny, this female security guard, she kept hovering around us the whole time we were talking to Brad. I grew up on that stage. I spent almost 30 years of my life on that stage. You can't kick me out of that hall. Kick me out of every place else your little heart desires. You can't kick me out of the Warner Theater. I walked out of the Warner Theater on my own when I left that orchestra. That was my call. They did not kick me out. But Kenny said, "Call security!" Oh man, concert was good. It was a good one. Okay, people. I know you miss me. Or maybe you just would rather have dull, um, monotonous, predictable conversations that get old real fast. You know, to each his own. Sounds arrogant. I know. It sounds arrogant of me. And that's a pointed comment for one specific individual. I don't even care. Who knows? Guy that lives up the street, I think he killed the feral cats. There were two cute ones that we just had spayed. Two cute little males, a gray and white one and a tabby. They always they play under my stoop, sleep under my kitchen. He said he was going to kill all of them because they were peeing and pooping in his yard. Isn't that a crime? If you kill feral cats, isn't that a crime? I have to look into that. Okay, jalapeno poppers in the gluten-free section at Weg's. They be good food. Because the cream cheese, it's just right. And they're not too hot. They're just enough in the back of your throat. It's really nice. Thank you. Good night. Off we go.